Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's been a long time since I've done a sit-down video like this, and I've had a lot of things to say. Just this study abroad has been so amazing, and I've been doing so many things. But that's besides the point. Let's get on with today's topic. So as you can see in the title, you can see what we're going to talk about today. This has been something that's been on my mind for quite some time, especially recently since I came back from Busan, which is the second largest city in South Korea. It's located on the southern tip of the Korean peninsula. So especially since I came back from my maybe 5-day trip in Busan, this has been on my mind quite a bit. And I guess just even more so because recently I've been doing a lot of traveling, and also because I started this YouTube channel where I do a lot of filming and I want to capture lots of different things. I get, I think a lot more about the aspects of tourism and ethics, and I can't help but think, like what things are problematic, what things are not, things like that. So I guess I'll just hop into the first example. Actually, the instance in which made me really start thinking about this was when we visited the Comfort Woman statue. I don't know if you guys know anything about this issue, but essentially during the Japanese colonization of Korea, because Japan was a very militaristic state, essentially they took children or female children and used them to pleasure men who were in the military ranks, and they were called comfort women. And this is essentially something that was organized by the Japanese government, just purely for the pleasure of those who were serving in their military. It's a big issue in Korea even until today. It's a source of a lot of controversy still between the Japanese and the Korean government. So yeah, it's a big issue, and also very sensitive issue, because many of the women who were involved in this are actually still alive. So there is a statue located in Busan, which is essentially to commemorate the women who were treated this way, and to also remind the Japanese of their participation and their organization of this thing. So I know I was feeling a little uncomfortable because I noticed, my peers were kind of gearing up to start taking pictures, looking for people who could take pictures of them with the statue, which I was not expecting. I personally did not feel comfortable with it. I wasn't even taking any pictures of the Comfort Woman statue in the first place. So when they were started looking for someone to take a picture of all of us with it, I backed out. I did not take a picture with it. Mainly because I just did not feel comfortable with that. And this isn't to throw any shade at those who did take photos of it and took photos with it, but it has to be, noted, at least for me, it was noted that, this statue isn't something that is going just another picture to add to my Instagram feed. This statue represents a lot of history and a lot of pain for a group of people, and actually is something that still remains very controversial today. So that one instance actually really got me thinking about tourism, social media, and in my case, YouTube, and the ethics of these kind of things. Like, where do we draw the line for things that we do solely for the purpose of really just showing it off online, whereas for many people it holds a lot more value than we assign to it when we just take pictures of it and take videos of it. Another instance that this happened to me was when I went to visit the Gamcheon Munhwa Maul. Gamcheon Munhwa Maul, which is the Gamcheon Cultural Village, which is also another place in Busan. Now, this one was even more interesting to me because this place is essentially like a tourist attraction advertised by the city. So the city is like, this is our beautiful Gamcheon Cultural Village, you should go to it, take pictures of it, things like that. Personally, I did not know that people actually lived there. I thought it was, because the way that it's advertised as a tourist attraction, I thought it was a village that demonstrates, a different style of living but that people didn't actually live there. So I was very surprised when I went there, and there are people living in these establishments. Not only living, but they're raising their children here. Many people are working in the village. That's how they have their livelihood. And for me, it was a bit odd to come in and be, taking pictures. In the West, we would call those kind of things like invasion of privacy, things like that. And I did take some film, but I tried to avoid the more personable areas. So you can see many of the tourists, like they're going inside people's driveways, they're climbing onto people's roofs to get like the perfect view or perfect angle to take the pictures. It's something that I guess slips the minds of all of us when we're touring and when we're in a new place and we want to take as many pictures as we can in this day and age. So that was another instance where I was, really started thinking about how outsiders come in and orientate themselves and navigate themselves in these areas. The third place where I also started to really have these kinds of thinkings are when I go to visit Shijangs. Shijang is like a market. So in Korea, you have plenty of different markets. Essentially, it's like an open air shopping area. Oftentimes they sell like spices or dried goods that you can get for cooking, things of that nature. People go there to take pictures all the time. And I always remind myself, like, these people aren't paying their rent for me to come take a picture of them, They're paying their rent to be there so they can like make their livelihood and feed their families. So these days when I go to Shijangs, I don't take pictures, I don't take film on the inside, especially if I haven't asked their permission. I think it's different if I ask their permission and they give me permission. But for me to just go into this establishment where they're paying to work, to earn their living, and to just take pictures of them, it makes me uncomfortable. And I think that we all should take a little moment to at least think of these things when we're tourists and we're so excited and we're trying to do all these different things and take pictures of things that we've never seen before. Now, before I end, I guess there is one question that could contradict what I've talked about today, and that would be that, oh, well, if the native population does these things, doesn't that make it okay for foreign populations to do the same? It has to be said that, yes, you can see many Koreans coming in, taking pictures, things like that. But I don't think I need to emphasize too much more when I say that things are different when a foreigner comes into a space and does things versus when someone who looks like those in that area and has the same background and culture of those people in that area do the same thing. Pretty sure in your home nation, wherever you are, when you see someone who lives there do something, and then you see someone who's like very evidently not from there do something, you have slightly different views towards it. And I won't get too much into this because that goes into like bias and things of that nature, prejudice, etc., which we all do have. No one is safe from bias and prejudice. It just is a matter of kind of unlearning it and educating yourself as to not do that. I think it's very different when a foreigner comes into such spaces and does things, which is why I think that foreigners who go into places, especially tourists, especially tourists, who go into certain spaces and do these kind of things, I think we need to take a little bit more time to think about the ethics of these things, Are these people okay with us coming into spaces where they're living, spaces where they're raising their children, spaces where they work on a daily basis, and us just essentially taking advantage of them and taking pictures of them and devaluing whatever that space stands for by just taking a picture of it and plopping it up on social media. Sorry, that topic was a bit heavy, I know, especially for the first sit-down video that I've done in a while. That topic was a bit heavy, but that has been something that has been on my mind, so I really wanted to talk about it. Thank you so much for stopping by my video and stopping by my channel. If you could do so, please like the video. You could also leave a comment, maybe subscribe if you could be so inclined, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks so much. Bye.